We return indoors where refreshments have been made. Mrs. Proctor hands out glasses of orange juice. "Thank you, Mrs. Proctor," we say, except for Benjamin and Anthony, who both address her as Mummy. My own mother holds a tray full of cupcakes. They address her as Mrs. Jackson except for me, who calls her Mother. "It's a bit weird that you still call her Mummy," Barbara says to Benjamin as we chomp into our snack. "She doesn't like being called Mother," Benjamin replied, glancing at me. "Is it true that you wear dresses every Sunday?" she asked. Benjamin gulped and nodded. "Why?" Barbara asked. Benjamin shrugged. "'Cause she likes us to," he bluntly replied. Ever inquisitive, Barbara asked if they'd always worn dresses on a Sunday. "Nah, it started about a year ago," he replied. Again, Barbara asked why. "Because she thought I was turning into a bully," Benjamin confessed. "And was you?" Barbara asked, reminding him that he's supposedly second toughest in the juniors. "I dunno, maybe. I don't think I was second toughest, but I kinda felt that I had to live up to it," he replied. "Now everybody thinks I'm the school sissy, so I keep my head down," he gulped. "I don't think you're a sissy," Patricia said. "Me neither," a handful of us added. I pointed out that none of us, myself, Benjamin and Anthony, chose to be part of the parade and that we're just going along with what our parents want. It quickly transpired that out of all of us, only Patricia and Barbara nominated themselves. Janet and Allison both expressed how they hate wearing dresses and were both coerced by their mothers into doing something that girls should do. They'd rather go paintballing and get muddy than prance about in a pretty dress. "You could always do both," Patricia suggested. "I don't mean going paintballing wearing a pretty dress," she grinned. "I mean, you can be girly and do things like paintballing too. I quite like the idea of going paintballing in this," Janet said, holding out her frock. "I'd never have to wear it again. It's not exactly camouflage," Benjamin dryly added. "Yeah, but the paint splats would look cool." Brown Owl sauntered over and asked if we were all okay, if we were looking forward to the parade, and what we were talking about. She grinned. "I think that's a great idea, although I don't think the ladies of the sewing circle would be too happy." She collected our glasses and told us that it was almost time to leave. "Now make sure you all go to the toilet before we go," she insisted. The girls headed for the ladies and us boys headed for the gents. "How am I supposed to pee in this?" I asked when faced with a urinal. "Like a girl," Benjamin suggested as he headed to the cubicle. "Oh, Benjamin," I said, stopping him in his tracks. "Can you help, please?" I said. I couldn't pee with my lacy gloves on and I can't unfasten the buttons myself, so he unfastened them for me. "Is it horrible having to wear a dress every Sunday?" I asked as he fiddled with the single button. "It's okay," he replied. "I hated it at first but I just got used to it." He unfastened the other button and said, "I tends to depend on the dress, some are better than others." I thanked him and removed my gloves. He looked at his reflection and said, "This isn't so bad. I prefer yours to mine." "Yeah. I hate my socks though," he said. I looked down at his feet. He wears a pair of ivory Mary Janes with white ankle socks that feature a frilly lace trim around the ankle. I'd have preferred tights. I'd have preferred normal socks to these," I said, lifting my dress up to my knees to reveal my thin white pop socks. Anthony exited the cubicle and Benjamin entered. Eventually it was my turn.